say if you're looking for some spiritual guidance to get you going in the right direction and keep you motivated and going strong, you are in the right direction. Welcome to Living a Blessed Life. These are your daily words of encouragement from Spirit, and you stick around till the end, and there's a love reading. So, also want to say, if you're interested, description box below, there's a book by my friend Emily, who she wrote a book based on her twin flame journey. She made it into a fictional romance novel, but it really is based on her story of how she met her twin flame, and he was her doctor, and she fell hard for him. Oh my God, she really did. And she wrote a beautiful story about all the transformations she went through, the inner struggles, but how much she blossomed by meeting him. It's a very beautiful story, so I invite you to go check it out below. But yeah, I'm going to get started out with some different decks today, and we'll just pull some cards and see what Spirit has to say. So, alright, here we go. For our highest good, what is it that we need to know? What guidance do you have for us? What came flying out here? Allow yourself to move on. This could be applied to your self-image and letting go of the old way of being. This could be from a relationship, friendship, family member, loved one, or romantic partner, something like that. That, if you've been wanting a sign from Spirit that, hey, look, it's just your time to heal and to just put this behind you. Maybe this is your sign, right? Could be moving on from the past, disappointments, the things you've held on to for so long that have been, stopping you from really living the life that you desire. Whatever it may be, and maybe it's multiple areas of your life, but always remember that, right? When you need to, draw that line in the sand, so to speak, and just keep moving forward. Every day is a new start. Every moment is brand new. Now we got to take a step back. And I feel like this could have to do with you kind of being like reflecting on why you need to actually move on. Sometimes that helps you sit there and go, okay, you know what? It's time for me to move forward again. So not so much, actually taking physically a step back, but mentally kind of taking that step back and going, okay, let me think about this. Yeah, I probably actually do need to move on from this from whatever reason, right? And, you don't always have to justify it to yourself why you need to move on sometimes. If you just feel, intuitively like you need to move on, then that's the only proof that you need, right? Gain a new perspective. You need to see this whole situation in a new light. Be real with yourself. Very honest with yourself about it. Because a lot of times, sometimes when something's not right for us, we tend to just kind of be like, we pretend like we don't see it because we don't want to see it, or whatever the case may be. And it's like, really, truly look at it. Does it feel good to you? Does it feel in alignment with you? Is this person being your life, if it's a person, right? Does it feel like this is part of your future, that you should keep hanging on to this, or does it feel like maybe it's time to let go? And it could be a person, situation, place, whatever, but yeah. I feel like Spirit's really wanting you to give it some deep thought, some deep consideration, and be really honest with yourself about it. Look at that, welcome change. And this fall, and all the fall leaves are on this card, yeah. Like I really feel like I'm getting the feeling like there is really something better waiting for you. So long as you're open to that change and you're open to moving on, it will be there waiting for you. You can rest assured in that. the other messages out here for highest good. Alright, I'm gonna pull some from, let's see, yeah, the shadow work. Let's just see. Some things we need to work on with ourselves. For highest good, what do we need to know? I gotta go retrieve that. Alright, what do we get here? Deceit. Honesty is a bridge to authentic connections. Ooh, that goes really hand in hand with the the cards we got out of the other deck. Again, you know, saying being honest with yourself about it. Sometimes we deceive ourselves and we don't really think about it. I know it's hard to face, but like, are you really happy in that relationship, whatever it may be? Are you just pretending like it's okay and it's really not? Because if you stay in situations that you don't belong in, it takes away, it's like it takes something out of you that you really can't replace. It's an energetic drain. I personally feel like sometimes when I'm in situations and things like that I don't belong in, I feel like it just drains my soul. Like it just detaches me from who I am as a spiritual being. And that's why Spirit wants you to understand how important it is to be perfectly honest with yourself, and is this really for me? You know? And if you really want authentic connections, also remember to truly, truly be yourself. You know, it's true what they say, the right people will love you and accept you for who you are. And sometimes you gotta take time, I will say this too, to get to know yourself before you can, you know, to be able to form those really authentic connections too. Anything else we need to work on with ourselves? Anything else to keep in mind? I heard bridge the gap from where you are now to where you want to be. And part of that is probably letting things go that just don't feel aligned with you anymore. Being real about what you want so it can come into your life so you can manifest it, so you don't just feel like it's never going to happen, right? Alright, let's go to the soul deck over here. Or the sea. The soul journey. There we go. I knew soul was in there somewhere. Alright. For highest good. Okay. What did we get here? Allow. May you soften into what is, and again, I feel like that's change. Just allowing what wants to come into your life, and also allowing what needs to go, right? There again, being open to change. For highest good, what else do we need to know? I'm hearing to go to Moonology, so let me just move on over there. I can get the cards out of the deck. Or out of the box, I mean. Alright. Here we go. Let's see what Spirit has to say. By the way, if you find this video helpful and it's uplifting to you, be sure to share it with your friends and family, because my goal here is just to help uplift as many people as I can. A personal issue reaches resolution. You'll be amazed at how it's all going to work out. I know letting go is hard sometimes, moving on and going forward again. It's like, but what if this doesn't work? And what if that doesn't work? But you also need to ask yourself, what if I start receiving my blessings because I finally moved on, because I freed myself up and I made that change and I allowed change to happen in my life, right? Look at both sides of it. It's a time for healing. Maybe something in your past or something you've been holding on to, a belief, whatever it may be, is what's causing you to kind of sit there and go, I'm not sure, do I move on or do I stay? And as you make that change too, especially if you're letting go of something that is no longer aligned with you, you will find that healing does take place. What do we get here? Just came flying. Yeah, conclusions are within reach. Yeah, you're really close. Close to a breakthrough. Close to manifesting what you want, to having what you want in your life, that type of thing. As you make those changes, as you really move into that energy that's more aligned with that newer version of yourself, of, you know, sticking with that vision of what you want for your life. It takes practice, but you keep putting in the work and it'll be there. It will be there. This is amazing. See, look, a fiery climax approaches. And not in a bad way, in a good way. A new start is coming. When Spirit guides you to make a change, it's for a reason. Nothing will come of this situation. Yeah, like, you keep sitting there and you think it's going to be okay, but in your soul you just know that it's time to move on. You feel it. You know, if something feels heavy and weighed down, a lot of times that's your cue too to move on. That's just, for whatever reason, and don't judge yourself for it, and don't keep like analyzing it and be like, well, you know, am I seeing this wrong? If you just intuitively feel like it's not for you, then it's just not for you. And you don't want to stay in there because that could keep you stuck, right? And sometimes if you stay in situations that you don't belong in, with people, relationships, whatever it may be, sometimes you'll find your blessings don't come in as, you know, much because you're still in that unhealthy situation. And Spirit's like, I'm waiting for you to free yourself, you know, before I bless you with what you deserve, so it doesn't get taken from you, or, you know what I mean? That type of thing. Especially if it's just that unhealthy. Work through your fears. I know it's scary. It is scary. Your commitment is being tested. But see, you see that? Like, Spirit's like, it's being acknowledged. Yeah, you're probably scared to make this change. You're being tested. That's your test. Like, can you get past the fear and make that change? So all those good things you've been wanting come your way. Change is going to happen either way. Everything's always in a constant state of change. Sometimes too, to help yourself get moving, is when you're afraid to make that change, when you're in a situation that you don't necessarily want to be in, but you're like, I don't know, can I make this change? Like, think about your future. Like, what is it going to look like even just 5 months from now if you stay that course and that relationship and that job, whatever's making you unhappy, and you stay in it? What kind of change is that going to create? And sometimes you don't want to look at it that way to like punish yourself, but you look at it that way to help, kind of sometimes it'll help, you know, help you see that, okay, I really should make the change on my own and do the thing that really makes me happy and free myself of this, because I don't want to live in this prison, you know, so to speak, continually. Nothing is yet set in stone. Your mind may be made up that it's going to be this way, it's going to happen this way, or it's just, you know, you just know the outcome, but you don't know. You really don't know. So try not to think of the worst possible thing that could happen. Think about the best possible thing that could happen, right? Alright, I'm being told to move into the love reading, so let me go do that. Alright, I'm getting told to do. That's just not going to go back right now. So, Nature's Whispers for the love reading. Alright, here we go. When it comes to love, what is it that we need to know? What do we get? Assurance. I love this card. Especially, since we're doing the love reading, I feel like you want to be with that person that just gets you, that will weather any freaking storm with you because they love you and they will be there. And they'll be there to catch you, if you think you're going to fall, they'll be there to remind you that you are enough. They'll always have you. They'll always be there, basically walking hand in hand with you, so to speak, through whatever life throws your way, at y'all's way, whatever, right? Treasure that. If you have it now, make sure you treasure it and keep believing all your heart you can have that person, because you're deserving of it. It's another thing, you always want to feel like you're deserving of what you desire whenever you're trying to manifest into your life. Potential gateway, and it's heart-shaped. I feel like it wants to come in for you. Perfect setting. Yeah, it's like everything you ever dreamed of. Whoops. Sorry, I grabbed my cards and my mic fell. Goodness. Alright. Make sure you give gratitude and appreciation if this person is in your life, and even if they aren't, be thankful for them. They are coming. They're coming. Yeah. Be open to it. Acceptance of love. I love this card too. I think it's so beautiful. It's just that I always think of it as very grounded. Same with the assurance card, just those roots run deep, right? And it's just that your soul just knows you met that person, and it runs so deep, you feel it. It's not just your mind, it's your heart, your soul, everything just comes very much alive, right? You just know. Maybe it's somebody who's going to really help you, feel free, happy again, maintain your childlike spirit. Your inner child may just absolutely love this person, right? Just makes them come alive, that, like that kid again, you feel like that kid energy again, they're just like, oh my god, this is happy, you're bouncy, right? You just feel very vibrant. Trust your own understanding, yeah. You got this, and you'll know. You really will know. You'll feel it deep within your soul. If you watched my other reading the other day, yeah. You'll feel it deep within your soul. Trust your own understanding. Don't wait for nobody else to validate this for you. You know. You will know so deeply. It'll be just, I don't know how to say it other than maybe it just feels like every part of your being will know that this is your person. Let love be your beacon. Yeah, I know on a twin flame journey they often say, like, you get woken up spiritually, right? But and other connections too, whatever this person may be to you, the one regardless, right? There's that person that lights your soul up. Let that love be your beacon, the one that brings you closer to yourself, to enjoying your life, to living life to the fullest. Allow yourself to embrace that and let the sun come out for you again, right? And just the new lease on life, because sometimes we go through life and it's hard and it's challenging and we get weighed down by all of it, and sometimes even when that person comes along that really lights us up, sometimes we want to shield ourselves from it because we're like, I don't know, am I ready? Like, I don't know, like, I'm scared, I've been hurt. But let love be your beacon. Let it in, especially when you find the one. If you haven't already, make sure you're accepting of it, right? And you feel worthy of it, and know that you really do deserve that love of a lifetime. So thank you so much for being here with me, and have a beautiful rest of your day.